Have you ever started painting something and after painting it for 8 solid hours just thought to yourself, man, I should have picked an easier model to paint? That's what I've been thinking. That's what I've been thinking for 2 solid weeks now as I'm painting this war rig. But it's such a cool model and I've come so far that I'm like, nah, I got to keep going. So I'm going to keep going. And hey, in that 8 hours of painting that I've done, I learned something about non-metallic metal that I thought that's totally worth sharing. So I'm going to. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with this project, I am painting the war rig. It is a large miniature from the tabletop war game Warcrow, okay, by Corvus Belli. It's an awesome game with great factions. It's relatively new. It's still growing, and I have kit bashed this, which, as you can see, it is no longer in the shape that it was when it came out of the box. I changed it around to make this pose more dynamic, to make it the way I wanted to, and now I am painting it to the best of my abilities, which is what's causing me the nightmare that I am currently having. But that's okay, because like I said, I learned something that I think is super valuable, and I wanted to share with you. So let's get into that. Okay, so in an attempt to make this week not a complete waste, I want to show you the little trick that I have learned. So normally you have your different colors, right? So our gold, we have this orange that's in there that I got to mix up, but then we have our yellow, our light yellow, our white, you know, the transition to make shiny gold. And as you can see from basically everything else on this mini, that's kind of what I did, is you have your white to your yellow, white to yellow, and to a little more orange. Maybe a better example of that would be this breastplate, where we have this white shine to yellow, to light yellow, to yellow, to orange, and then to almost a darker brownish orange. That, I mean, I base coated it all brown because that's what I wanted the darkest point to be. But anyway, in an attempt to show you something worthwhile, I'm going to show you kind of the little thing that I have learned. And that is that I went through and did my shine points, the points that I wanted to shine to it. And as you can see, I mean, this has got this cool like bird thing on his shoulder, which I don't even know how I'm going to do that. That's going to be an adventure in and of itself. But to make it the easiest way that I've seen how to do it in the hours that I have been dedicating to this, I'm going to show you what I've done. And basically, you want to do that next color. Then, so we went from bright to a little darker, and we're going to go a little darker still with our yellow. And again, I could be putting this on thin, thick, doesn't really matter too much. And from there, we go to our orange color, which I let it get a little too wet because of the wet palette, so I'm going to try and put it on here a little thicker than normal. And we do that little transition. And then, like I said, I have my darker orange brown mix that I have in here too, which at this point in time is basically just brown. So I'm going to actually try and blend in a little orange. So anyway, now we have these 4 distinct colors. We have the white, the yellow, the orange, and the brown. And you're looking at it and you think, well, that doesn't look very good, right? Every gold, every metallic has like that base core color. You know, with silver, it's a gray, or if it's like a reflective, then it can be, you know, blue or whatever it is. But you have that color that's kind of the core that you want it. Do you want your gold to be a really yellow gold, or a really brown gold, or a really orange gold? And that's kind of what you need to decide before you start painting, is what color of gold you want it to be. Sorry, I'm gonna just fix that. And once you have that, basically you paint this. It doesn't have to dry. I mean, you don't want it to be too wet. I live in Utah where it's friggin' crazy dry, and so paint dries way faster than it should. But then anyway, you get the color that you want. For the sake of this, we'll say I want this to be a very orange gold, an orangish brown gold. So I get my orangish brown color, and I'm going to show you like right here. I got this color, and I'm going to push it around until I have it really thin on this wet palette. So it's basically like a glaze, and if I put it on my fingertip, you can see kind of a glaze, kind of see-through, definitely not super strong, and that's what you want to go for. And if you don't have that and you need to make it a little more wet, add a little water to it, swish it around a little bit, get it to that point that you want it, and you have that glaze. And then once you have that glaze, you just come back to this and you just pull. So put it down and just pull it. Pull it from the light to the dark as much as you can. And maybe I should have let this dry a little bit. But when you pull that color across and it dries, you have this nice uniform shine. And it goes from the lighter to the darker all on its own. And that's how you get non-metallic metal in what I think is one of the easiest ways to do it, because instead of just blending as you go and you knock out the colors. You can do it both sides of the shine. So I could have done it over here as well. And then once you have it, all those colors blocked out, you do all your colors. By the time you're done doing both sides, it's usually, for again, me in Utah, it's to the point where all you have to do is just come back across the top of it and just hit it with that. And I probably should have let it dry a little bit more because I lost a lot of my orange that was right there because it was so wet anyway. But you can see how the blending has happened where we go from this lighter to darker still. And that's like the easiest way that I have found to do blending. And I'm gonna just put this back on here now so you can kind of see overall what I was trying to go for. But yeah, so now once it dries, it'll look like this. Which, I mean, this isn't like a perfect example, but let's look at it from the front. It'll look like that. It'll look like that. It'll look like, I mean, this is what I've been doing this whole thing with, right? And no, is this perfect metal? No. But I think it looks pretty cool. So anyway, that's the easiest way to do non-metallic metal that I have found. And it's so much faster than what I was doing before. So anyway, hopefully that helps. And that's it. That's all I've got for this week. I was hoping to have this thing completely done, but it's taking a lot longer to do the best that I can do. And I shouldn't even say the best, because I'm sure I could spend an infinite amount of hours. I am painting it to the patience level that I have as a painter at this point in time. I want it to be one of those models that, you know, everyone shows off on like their Instagram at the end of the year. They have that like it's like a Brady Bunch style picture with them in the middle and then like all of their creations around the outside. The Brady Bunch, the Brady Bunch. And I want this to be one of mine for this upcoming year. And I mean, that means I only have to paint 8 things this year to this level. So if I can finish this in a month, then I guess I'm doing okay, right? So that's what we're shooting for. And I hope by the end, you know, when I can show you the whole process start to finish, it's something that you look at and you think, oh, you know, he's not a complete loser, at least all the time. And he can paint a little bit. And, you know, maybe along the way I teach you a little bit about painting and just kind of how the process worked for me and what I've learned along the way, and hopefully that helps you as a painter. And if you're a way better painter than I am, which I'm sure there's lots of people out there, give me some tips. Lay it on me! Be like, hey, you know, little D, you sucked at this, fix this, you know, do it this way or whatever, right? And I would love to hear that because I want to be better. I do. I want to be a better painter. And hopefully if you're watching this, you want to be a better painter too. So give me that advice. Drop it in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Is this a stupid way to do non-metallic metal? Is your way better or faster, or how do you do it that makes sense to you? Because this, I have been trying, and like doing the blending in one go is just like makes me crazy and makes my brain hurt. And so doing it this way that I showed you was just like, hey, that makes sense to me, and it looks pretty good. And I know it's kind of timing sensitive, because if you let it dry too much, it doesn't work super well. But I feel like, I mean, I've let it dry for a couple hours before, and it still reactivated enough that it worked out pretty good. So if you like that, please like, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, drop a comment below. Anything that you do helps bring people to this video and helps me grow as a creator. And I mean, that's what I want. I want to keep painting and keep doing this stuff full time. I mean, I'm going to do it anyway because I love it and it's fun, but it would be great to have your support. So if you could, let me know what's going on in your life below. And as always, thank you for watching this video and for sticking around. And just remember, don't spend so much time building your world, painting your models, that you forget to spend some time in that world with those models. Until next time.